Hi everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the Knitty Witch Podcast, episode 10. I am Vanessa, also known as Knitty Witch on Instagram and Knitty-Witch on Ravelry. You can find my stitch marker shop on Etsy as Knitty Witch Shop, or go to knittywitch.com, which will also link you to my site. You can email me at knittywitchshop@gmail.com, or you can message me using Instagram's messaging service. However, I will say that sometimes it gets a little quirky and I don't get your messages. So if you're really trying to get a hold of me, then just use that email button on Instagram. Also, if you would like to see my daily going ins and outs and my day, I am very active on Instagram. I update my stories every day and I post regularly. So if you are looking for just a little more of that Knitty Witch content, then you can find some of it there. And I would love to have you follow me on Instagram and interact with you and become friends. So please be sure to give me a follow. So for today's episode, I have so much to share with you. This is going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's get into the good stuff. So my first finished object is the project that you've all been waiting to see, that I've been working on relentlessly for a month and a half. And that is my Slipstravaganza by Stephen West. I knit this using a gorgeous kit from Moonglow Yarn Co. Whitney dyed up a fingering weight set of her Sweetheart Valentine's Day collection on a fingering for me so that I can make this shawl, and I am in love. I didn't think that I could love it any more than I loved the first one, and boy was I wrong, because this one is just as beautiful. I just have no words. I knit this on size 4 40-inch Chagu fixed circular needles, and look at the backside. Like, it is just as beautiful on the backside as it is on the front. Like, it almost makes me want to wear it the other way. I have not blocked this yet, so it's not open. The middle section is kind of like squished together, and if you see the edges, they're crinkly. And they're not, the points on the chevrons are not very pronounced, but once I block that, that will all change. And it'll look a little more like my first Slipstravaganza, which I'll show again. So if you could see, this is a lot more open. The diamond section is, the colors pop a lot more because the fabric has been spread out. The edges and the points on them are more pronounced because I pinned them in blocking. So it is going to look a little more like this. And this one is huge. Like, you can't see, but it's big. And that is going to happen when I block this one. So I can't wait to have that done. I'm really excited to do that. It just takes up my entire kitchen floor. So I haven't done it yet, but I will be doing it, and I cannot be happier with this knit. So yay, it's done. And I was planning on wearing it to Marilyn Sheep and Wool, but the weather didn't cooperate. So I have still yet to wear this to a festival. So I'm really excited. And what else can I say? Thank you so much, Whitney, for this, because now I have another art piece in my collection. So yay for Slipstravaganza. I will not be knitting another one of those. That is it. I am done. That is the second and only time I will knit that pattern. I did have someone out of my family come to me and ask me if I can make one for a friend of theirs in a blanket. And if you're a knitter or crocheter, you're laughing with me, because it took me a month and a half to knit Slipstravaganza as a shawl. Could you imagine how long it would take me to knit it as a blanket? And if you are interested in knitting it as a blanket, Stephen West does have a Slipstravaganza blanket pattern, I am fairly certain. So that is totally in the realm of possibility, but not for me, especially not to give away. So I will not be knitting another one of these patterns. So that's it for my FOs. Let's get into works in progress. So for my first work in progress, I'm going to share with you my scrappy project. So this is my Scrappy Sunday project, and it is the Granny Stripe blanket by Ep10. I am changing colors every row. So I am using fingering weight mini skeins, and I am switching them out and weaving in the ends every row so that I don't have to worry about it. Whoops. Oh, whoops, I pulled it a little, but so I won't have to worry about it when I'm done. And when I am done, because I completely messed up this border, I am going to be putting a border on it because I did not do the edges properly. When I read the pattern, I didn't really understand, or not that I didn't understand. I don't know what my problem was. I just wasn't grasping the concept of how to do the edge. And I kind of just like made something up, and it's been working for me. And I've been doing the same thing. So I am consistently wrong, but it is working out. So I'm using a lot of row 1 minis, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but they come like this, and I've been putting them into my blanket. So a lot of fun with that, working on that on Sundays. And every now and then I'll throw in a couple row and it's not a Sunday, which is totally fine. And this is living in my Magner & Co bag, which I've talked about before. It's a wax canvas bag with leather handles and accents, and it is one of my favorites. It's very sturdy and it holds a lot. So it's the perfect project bag for the beginning of this blanket. I'm sure that once the blanket grows, it won't fit in here anymore and I'll have to figure something else out. But for now, it's working out pretty well. So that is going to lead into my next project, which is also a granny stripe blanket. So for my second trick, I'm just kidding. So my second work in progress is I cast this on, well, I don't know if you call it casting on when it's crochet, but I started this after I finished Slipstravaganza because I needed something mindless to work on. And yes, my scrappy blanket is mindless, but changing the yarn every row and winding up mini skeins to put into it and weaving in the ends, and it's not as, I just wanted something a little less tedious than that. And it's not even that tedious, but I just wanted something that was a little more of a breeze. So I cast on, I keep doing it, but I'm just going to keep saying casting on. So I cast on the Granny Stripe blanket, Ep10, same thing. And I am using the yarn left over from my virus blanket that I knit for my niece Kaylin, and that is Lion Brand Manzala yarn. And this is the gnome colorway. So we're transitioning into greens right now. This is an affordable acrylic yarn. It is not the softest. I have heard that when you wash it, it softens up a little bit, but as far as acrylics go, it's Lion Brand. It's a good acrylic. So it's gorgeous. And I'm using this because this is probably, I haven't decided. I started this for me and then got like a little bit of guilt and was like, well, my daughter Harper doesn't have a blanket yet. I have knit my daughter Brenna a blanket, and I've knit my niece and my nephew, and I haven't knit one for Harper or crocheted one for Harper. So here she is, 8 years old, and I really think that she's gonna love this. She's gonna love the colors. So I'm excited to work on this. I love how I don't have to switch colors. I used a YouTube tutorial, which I will link down below, for this pattern so that I could figure out the edging that I messed up on my scrappy blanket. And I did. The tutorial was perfect and I was able to figure out, and now I have a really nice edge that I might not have to put a border on. Probably won't put a border on it because it's coming out just fine. So that is living in this bucket bag that I have from Alina of Star Knits. So here it is. And you have probably seen this before. This is an older bag. It has an elephant on it. It fits so much. So like I said, I have the blanket project going on in here, but as it grows, I'll probably need a different bag, like a tote bag. But for now, this is working out just fine. So I'm going to leave it in here for now. And I love that I could like take this. It's like a little tote. I could take it anywhere and it's great. I throw stuff in it. Like I throw my Switch and my Kindle in here and take it with me. I love it so much. So those are my 2 blankets, and I don't know why I feel like I always have to have a crochet blanket going, but I always have to have a crochet blanket going that isn't my scrappy project. I don't know. I love making blankets, and I thought to myself, like, what am I going to do with all these blankets? I can't possibly use them all, but I'm going to get one of those ladders that you just like prop up against the wall and you hang the blankets over on the rungs and display them that way. I just love making them and I won't stop. You can't make me. So for my last work in project, I am revisiting my Bay Heaven cardigan by Kimberly McAlindin. So I have made one of these before, a blue one out of Yarn Cafe Creations, and this is my second one because I love the pattern so much. I had to make another. What's great about this pattern is if you have a yarn that is variegated and very busy like this one, and any type of cabling or patterning will get lost in translation, this is the perfect cardigan for perfect pattern for a cardigan and for that yarn, because it's stockinette for the most part and it just showcases the beauty of the yarn wonderfully. So I'm at the divide. So here is the front panel I finished. I'm working on the back panel right now. I'm in the middle of a row. I mentioned I stop in the middle of the row a few episodes back, so I know where I am. And then I have this front, and then I'll start putting it all together and making the sleeves. I'm almost done. I mean, I'm moving along. I did a lot of it before I stopped to do Slipstravaganza, so I'm just happy to be near the end because I'm so excited for this sweater. So this yarn is, well, I should mention that this is Into the World yarn in Saratoga Sport Weight in the As One Does colorway. And here, I'll show you. This reminds me of a rose garden. I am alternating skeins, so you can see that it's got a little bit heavier design and speckling on the bottom than it does up here, but that is just the nature of the hand-dyed yarn, and there's nothing that I could do about that. I'm already alternating skeins, so there's not much more I can do. But I cannot wait for this to be done. I love the first one that I made. So it is a mindless pattern, super easy to make. And I do have some notes on my Ravelry page of a couple of things that I found. So if you read my notes, if you're knitting size small, it might help you out a little bit. But yeah, so I love this. Oh, the yarn, that's right. I was going to tell you. So this yarn has had a journey. I started knitting another sweater with it and it wasn't looking right. Like I said, the yarn is very speckled, and this pattern that I was working on, it wasn't looking good. So I ripped it out and started this project, and this yarn really wants to be a sweater. So it finally will be when I'm done with this, and I can't be more excited. So that is living in my Black Pearl Magic Laveau 2.0 vinyl holographic bag. I got this at Cake Palooza when I went to Rhinebeck. That was the festival before Rhinebeck, the day before. And I'm really sorry to anyone who's trying to get one of these bags and can't. Shayla is only one person and she is doing her best, but her updates do sell out really, really quickly, and there's just like nothing that anyone can do about it. She's human. So just keep trying. If you're trying to get one of her bags, keep setting those alarms, and hopefully, I hope that everyone who wants one is able to get one. So that is my Bay Heaven cardigan. And I'm knitting that on size 5 Chayu 40-inch fixed circular needles, which I think that's what the pattern suggests. So that is all I have for you for works in progress. I have something really exciting to share with you, and this is a little bit different of a segment because I have not gone down this road before with you, but let me introduce you to what I've been up to lately, which is a lot of spinning. So I was gonna wait till Aquisitions to show this to you, but it kind of goes with what I'm gonna talk about. So my acquisition for spinning for this month is a new wheel. So this is Athena Spinning Capricorn travel wheel. It is less than 10 pounds, and as you can see, you can carry it using the handle like that. And here is the treadle. So there's the treadles, and everything about this wheel is just great. This is magnetic, so this comes off and goes back on. This comes off, the treadles can come off, and it all compacts into a tote bag. I can take this wheel anywhere. And I used to have, I don't want to talk negatively about anything, but I used to have a wheel that was excuse me, that was very similar to this, and it was not made as well, and it started to fall apart on me. It started making noises, it started creaking, the parts started to break. This is a modified version of a travel wheel where they have put their heart and soul and quality into this product. So this retails for about $7.79, I think it was. I paid around $800 because I added an extra bobbin. I used a super cool feature called PayPal in 4 so that I could pay it off in 4 interest-free payments, making it just a little bit more affordable. So if you've been looking for a wheel maybe like this, it's something that you want, then that is something that you can take into consideration that might help you out a little bit. You would think that for its size and the way that it's built, that it wouldn't spin that well. But let me tell you, you would be wrong. You can't, let me see if I can hold this. You can't really tell, but I started spinning. Oh, hit the camera. I started spinning, and there we have a little bit on it, and this thing is smooth. It does not make sounds when you're treadling. It is a smooth spin. Like, I love this wheel. I have 2 other spinning wheels. I have a Matchless by Shocked and I have a Sidekick by Shocked. And this one, while it may not spin as perfectly as my Matchless does, this is a close second. It is really just, I can't say enough about this wheel. So I am super excited about it. And let me put this down. I will share with you that I spun, not very well, but I spun yarn from Into the World using a bat from Into the World. It was, let me see if I remember the colorway. It was, nope, I'll have to put it up on the screen, but look at how overspun and out of practice I am. But you know what? I finished it and I haven't spun in years, like a few years. And this little wheel got me back into spinning and I'm really excited about that. I feel like a lot of the time I don't have like a designated space to put my wheel in with a chair so I could just sit down and spin when I'm ready. So I would have to pull my wheel out, set it up, and it kind of was like a couple extra steps that I don't really want to take when I'm trying to spin. So with the Capricorn, I literally just put it wherever I am. Like if I'm in the living room, I just drag it into the living room and start spinning. If I'm going to a friend's house, I just throw it in the car and start spinning. So I'm glad that it's got me back into spinning. But like I said, you can tell that I am really out of practice. But this is the yarn that I made. It has not been soaked or washed. So when you are done spinning your yarn and plying it, you should give it a bath, a cold water bath, and soak it and then hang it up to dry, and that relaxes the fibers and plumps them up and does all that good thing that turns it into yarn, and it will look a lot better than this mess. I just haven't gotten there yet. Pretty proud of myself that for not spinning for a few years that I even did this good. So yeah, I'm pretty excited that I made yarn. Like I made yarn. How cool is that? I will tell you that not everything goes according to plan all the time. So I was spinning on my Capricorn wheel and I was spinning a lovely BFL silk braid. Ask me why it's in my hand. Excuse me. It's in my hand because I destroyed this entire fiber braid. I overspun it, and what that means is I put too much twist in it, so it was pulling back on itself and tangling and breaking. I did get both, so I split my braid in half. I spun 2 ounces on one bobbin, 2 ounces on the other bobbin. It was a 4-ounce braid. I started to ply them together, and in plying was a disaster. It was a nightmare. I completely destroyed this yarn. So you can't tell, but I did wind it off. And this is some of my singles. A lot of where I messed up is on the inside of the ball that you can't see. Unfortunately, I don't know what to do with this other than to throw it out. It was an unnamed braid. It was bought at a local yarn store, and it was dyed by a local dyer that really didn't have any tags or anything, so I'm not really sure who created it. But yeah, that was a waste of a 4-ounce braid. I think I know what I did wrong. I think that when I was treadling, I was either treadling too fast at times, which sometimes I get a little carried away and I tread a little faster. But if you're gonna do that, I think you have to adjust your ratio. I'm not really good on the technicalities of all of the words in the spinning community, but I'm just learning by trial and error. That's the best way I think that you could learn, is just seeing what works for you. So I'm not well versed in all of the things, but I do try. So what I think I did was, I don't think I pre-drafted the fiber well enough. And what that is taking the fiber out of the braid and kind of pulling the fibers apart so that it's easier to feed into your wheel. And I didn't do that. So I didn't pre-draft well enough, and I was just spending too much time trying to feed the fiber into the wheel and then treadling too fast, and I was just overspinning. So I'm going to try not to do that next time. I am working on, I could share with you what I'm working on. So I'm working on a braid from Malabrigo. It's Malabrigo Noob. and it looks like this. It's this beautiful purple and blue fiber braid. And because it doesn't have like long stripes of color and it's kind of more variegated, what I did to pre-draft it was I split the braid in half, and then I took that half and I split it again, and then I split that half. And then I ended up with kind of like pencil roving, like thin roving like this. And that is working a lot better for me, spinning with it drafted this thin than not pre-drafted at all. I found that this Malabrigo is very, I want to say dense. It's not that it's dense. It's like the fibers are kind of like stuck together. It's very sticky. So the fibers are not matted, but they are grippy and grip to each other. So when you first get a braid of Malabrigo or other braids, it doesn't have to be just Malabrigo, and you feel that the fibers seem very compacted, then make sure that you are pre-drafting well enough so that you're not having the same mistake that I had while you're overspinning it, blah, 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 a bunch of stuff. But suffice it to say, pre-drafting goes a long way. So I have shared with you my FOs. I have shared with you my works in progress, my spinning, and we're gonna get into acquisitions. But before we get into acquisitions, I have something really fun that I would like to share with you. So to celebrate my return to spinning, which is, it's a big deal for me because I used to spin a lot and I kind of like fell off of it for a while. So to celebrate my personal milestone of spinning again, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. If you've ever wanted to spin, now is the time to learn, because I'm going to hook you up. So for one lucky person on this channel, you are going to win a spinning kit from me. So in this spinning kit, you're going to receive Respect the Spindle, which is an amazing book packed full of information. I've talked about this book before on spindle spinning. A high-low spindle that could be used both this way and that way. Brand new, never been used. And a braid of Malabrigo Noob in the, let's see, glitter colorway. So if you've been wanting to learn to spin, now is the time to do it. This is gonna get you started. So in order to win this spinning kit, which I'm gonna throw in some extra goodies, I am going to throw in some fun stuff. And when I get into acquisitions, I will show you a couple things I got, but I was gifted a couple little fiber bats from the Fiber Genie, and I'm going to throw those in to the package as well. So you have a Malabrigo Noob braid, and you get to try out fiber from the Fiber Genie in her little petite fluff. All you have to do to win this package is comment below anything. Tell me about why you love to spin or why you want to spin. So the person who wins this must be a subscriber to my channel and comment down below, and that is it. So I am excited to share this with you and excited to get this off to one of you so that you can begin your spinning journey. And if you need any help, I am happy to point you in the right direction. I'm happy to link you tutorials. I do not have any tutorials myself. I have not gotten around to filming any. It's just life. I am not that great with all of the video stuff. I do my best to put out a good podcast, but I haven't gotten around to doing much of anything else. So I'm happy to find a tutorial for you and to link one for you and get you on the road to spinning. So don't forget to comment, tell your friends, share with your buddies. I'm going to be posting a little link on Instagram so that everyone on Instagram can hop over and share in this fun giveaway. All right. Let's get into acquisitions. So for my first acquisition, I will share with you a couple things that I bought previous to or prior to Marilyn Sheep and Wool. So the first thing that I found at a farmer's market, which was kind of interesting, but they're snoozies, and snoozies are slippers if you've ever come across them. And they look like this, and look, it is yarn snoozies, and it says knitters have balls. So how cute is that? And I love slippers. Like, I have slippers. I have so many pairs of slippers, but how could I pass this up? I love this. It's knitting slippers, like, duh. So I found those. And then this month, hopefully everyone should have gotten theirs already, but I have gotten in my subscription of Row 1 minis. So Row 1 is a subscription-based service where you pay $40 a month, and it's well worth it. You get 10-gram not pre-spun, pre-rolled, pre-rolls, go Vanessa, pre-skeined mini skeins from a new indie dyer. Every month there's someone different, and this is what it looks like when you get it. So a little package of fun. I love this so that I don't have to spend time winding a mini skein to put it into my scrappy blanket. I just pick up one of these and go. So Row 1 is one of my favorite yarn subscriptions, and I'm happy to be back. I did have to cancel my subscription just for a little while because I was really backed up on minis, but I've knit through some of them, and now I'm back in the subscription service again. So this month's dyer was Superfine Yarn Co. And I have heard of Superfine Yarn Co. floating around in the Instagram world, so I was really excited to get this and to try one of their yarns. One of my Amazon purchases this month was the Crochet Answer Book. Now, you might have remembered that I do have the Knitting Answer Book, and I really liked it. So I went ahead and I got the Crochet Answer Book because unlike the knitting book that I know a lot of the techniques and things in here, I know nothing of crochet. You know nothing, Jon Snow. I know nothing of crochet. So this is going to be really helpful for me. It was $9.99, and I think it is just a steal. This one is non-knitting related, but being that it's my channel and I do what I want, I thought I would share with you my latest tarot purchase. I'm really excited about this tarot deck because I'll show you. It is Tarot of the Enchanted Soul. It is $30 on Amazon, which is a steal because look at this. This beautiful box, right? Beautiful artwork. And the book is phenomenal. The book goes really well with the cards, and it explains everything about what they were thinking, the imagery on the cards, where they were going with the story that the card is telling. It's in full color. It has accurate meanings because I do a lot of research on different interpretations of the cards, and I have been around to the most common ones. And sometimes tarot decks will just have like a meaning out there, and I'm like, that was a stretch. Like, that's not really, I can see where they were going and that's what this card may mean, but it's a little far-fetched. This is not like that. This is really good. This deck is huge. So no, it does not look big on camera. It is big in real life. That's why it looks so big on camera. These cards are, I wish I had a card to kind of compare it to, but like, here's my hand, and like, look at how big that card is. So what I love about this is there are the meanings right on the bottom of the card. Yeah. So Two of Cups. Two of Cups is usually like a partnership, a soulmate kind of twin flame relationship. And it says right here, Two of Cups, soulmates, attraction, companionship, feelings, partnership, true love, and affinity. On point. So I am in love with this deck. I'm disappointed. The only disappointment that I have is that I bought this deck to put in my purse to use every day because it has the keyword reminders, and I thought that would be really helpful for me. This is not going in my purse. This is like a brick. I can like probably take someone out with this if I hit them with my purse. So this one is gonna stay home, but all in all, I'm very happy with it and I'm really excited about this deck. So if you're looking for a deck that is helpful for a beginner, this is definitely one of those. Everything I talk about will be linked down below in the description box, just in case you are looking for it. All right, so let's talk Marilyn Sheep and Wool. Oh my God. So this year, Marilyn Sheep and Wool was a little bit different. And that's because the weather, I have to say, of all the years that I've been going to Maryland, this year, the weather was the worst. We were poured on, windy, I mean, mud, you name it. It was just really uncomfortable, and you couldn't see anyone's faces because everyone's like bundled up with their raincoat, including me. So like walking around outside, I couldn't tell who was who. I didn't get to see half of the people that I was excited to see. When I went to Maryland this year, I went to see my friends because I don't really need much. And I'm disappointed because I didn't get to see half of the people that I wanted to see. I didn't get to run into the people I usually run into because, like I said, you couldn't tell who was who. Nobody wanted to sit outside in the rain and get soaked either. And then there wasn't enough room in the barns for you to just stand around in a group of people without blocking a booth. So this year's Maryland's not the best. However, it is what you make it. And we had a great time. I went with my friend Justine and her husband Mark. Justine just started crocheting. She does an amazing job with crochet. I taught her to crochet and she just ran with it and is doing amazing things. And I want to mention her Instagram account because she has an ability to take something and bring beauty into it no matter what it is. Justine's Instagram is Crocheting Cannabis. If you would like to give her a follow, she posts beautiful artistic pictures of her works in progress, of her yarn. The aesthetic is just gorgeous. You really should check her out. So I went with her and we had a great time. She got a bunch of stuff and I will share with you what I got. So naturally you would know that the first place I would visit is Loop. I am a huge Loop fan. That is Steph Gorin. She makes yin yang yarn and she makes the Loop bullseye bumps. So I got to her early in the morning because you have to get, you know, with Marilyn, you have to get to whoever you want to get to first to get all the good stuff, right? So here's Loop, and this is melted crayons. And she told me, she was like, oh, it's a good thing you got her early because the rainbows go really fast. I know they do. I know they do. And I snagged one and I am so happy about it. this is going in my collection of loop bumps, and it's going in my collection because I need to learn how to chain ply again. I used to know how to chain ply. It has been a while. I'm struggling to two-ply right now, so I'm not even gonna try to chain ply. When I'm ready and I get to that point, then I'll start spinning my loop bullseye bumps, but I am not wasting or ruining those. So until I figure myself out, it's gonna go in my stash. So that was loop. And then the other fiber artist that I was really excited about meeting and going to her booth is Amanda of Melanated Boho Bay. So Amanda makes these beautiful art bats. Look at that. And it says here, it's got a little tag, and it says, this one is called Get In Loser, Merino, Farm Merino. It tells you the fiber content, and then it says, made with Firestar, Angelina, Faux Cashmere, Black Pride, and Black Girl Magic. Damn right it is, and it is gorgeous. Look at how beautiful that is. So that is one of the bats that I got from her. And then here is a deluxe set that I bought, and this is from her Clueless collection, like the movie Clueless. Yeah. So this one comes with, sorry for the crinkling, this one comes with like a little notebook and a pen and some goodies. So I'm really excited to open this and get spinning on that too. Like I said, once I get my stuff together, right? Then I'll start spinning these bats. I've never spun from a bat before, so I'm excited to try this technique. So I got to see Amanda's booth, which was really exciting. I got to meet up with a few members of my group from the Knitty Natty membership. I got to meet up with Natalie. She came down with her husband Kent for a little bit, so I got to see her, and I got to meet my friends Alana and Rowan, and I met Anne, who is from my group, and so many people. I was able to go to the podcaster meetup for a very brief time. So here's what happened at the podcaster meetup, just in case anyone was wondering, like, what the hell happened to me. We got to the festival at 7 o'clock. 7:30 in the morning, I think. Somewhere between 7 and 7:30. The doors didn't open till 8:30. We stood out in the rain for a half an hour from 8 to 8:30 in the rain in line. And because there wasn't that many people, we were able to get into the barns and maneuver through the different booths without much problem and without much crowding, which made it a little easier for us to see everything, which means that we saw everything and had hit all the booths and did all the things that we wanted to do by like 10 o'clock in the morning. And it was, like I said, it was raining, it was pouring, and the podcaster meetup was at 2. Well, by the time 2 came around, we had been ready to leave for a few hours. Obviously, it was not comfortable outside. And I didn't want to leave because I wanted to go to the podcaster meetup and meet everyone. So I did stay for the podcaster meetup, but I wasn't able to stay at the podcaster meetup very long because everyone was just kind of ready to be moving along and heading back home. We came from out of town. So I live in Delaware. We drove to Marilyn for the day, and it was just like not a good time. 2 o'clock was just not a good time for me. It would have been better if it was a little bit earlier. That would have worked out a little easier, but I had a great time anyway. I got to meet Aquila of a Lefty Knitter podcast. I got to meet Chevis from Chevy Rell Stuff podcast. I got to meet Knit Not Weave, who is a friend on Instagram. I got to meet so many different people, and it was really, really nice. I wish I would have stayed. I wish I could have stayed. I wish a lot of things would have went differently, but it was still a great time meeting everyone, and I'm so glad that I got that opportunity. Oh, one more thing. So not Marilyn's. I went on the Fiber Genie Etsy shop. Oh my God, guys, she makes some amazing bats. Look at this bat. This is an art bat. Here's her little logo, Fiber Genie. And this one is Over the Rainbow Scrappy Bat. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in here. It's got Firestar, Rambouillet, Angelina, Merino, Silk, Locks, Nylon, upcycled fabrics and ribbons, and yarn scraps. 3.6 ounces of pure fun. Also something I'm really looking forward to spinning. So yeah, that was all in all a great time. We were supposed to go back on Sunday for the second day and opted not to because it was colder on Sunday than it was on Saturday, which is good because if it would have been cold, rainy, and wet, I don't think I would have even been able to stay. But it wasn't that cold when it was raining. It was just like chilly, but bearable. Sunday was cold. It was like 50 degrees outside, and even though it wasn't raining, the ground was still wet, and it was just listening or hearing from people who were at the festival on Sunday, it just didn't seem like a good time. So Sunday is usually the day that we will sit around and set up camp, basically set up chairs and spin outside and hang out and kind of walk around, but the weather just didn't allow for that this year, which is fine. There's always next year. So let me look around before I head out and make sure that I have covered everything, because usually it works out that I finish podcasting and I'm like, darn, I forgot to talk about something. Ah, I did. I was gifted a stitch marker from Simply Serving from my friend Wanda. And like, look at how amazing this is. This is a raven skull with roses. I mean, how cute is that? The level of detail that goes into these stitch markers from Lindsay is just absolutely amazing. So I'm really excited about that. My little raven stitch marker. I love ravens. I have a raven ring. I associate heavily with ravens because, well, there's a few reasons, and one of them is I like shiny things, and when I see a shiny thing, I have to have it. And by shinies, I mean, it could be that shiny, and I have to have it, like a raven. So I was really happy to be gifted that. It means a lot to me, so thank you so much, Wanda. I love you so much. All right, that is everything that I have for you. I hope that everyone had an amazing weekend. I hope that if you went to Maryland, you had a great time, even though I missed you. I hope that life brings you everything that it possibly has to offer, all the joy, all the love, all the happiness. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay positive. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Have a good week. Bye.